Hey everybody, welcome to the 27th episode of MAME Politics. I have a special guest with me again for today's two-player episode of MAME Politics, my wife Lori Kirchner.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks. Welcome to my home, my own home where I
Welcome.
live. Thank you.
Welcome to
What a warm welcome.
welcome to the stream.
So, yeah, should we what the hell game is even up here? Is this Jojo?
Oh, this is Jojo. Yeah,
Okay.
this was we agreed on this. We thought this would be a good game to play. Hey Andy, how's it going?
Hey.
For anybody who hasn't played JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's probably one of Capcom's most abstract fighting games, most silly fighting games, and for that reason alone, I'll always sort of remember it from being in the arcade.
Oh,
Did
you
you-
remember this like contemporaneously? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
played it?
Oh yeah, I played it. I mean, I
Okay.
played it at Golfland, which for anybody who doesn't know, Golfland in Milpitas, California, and Golfland in Santa Clara, California, were two locations, and I never really went over this before, but there were two locations that actual gigantic video game companies like Atari, I think even Namco, there were a bunch of arcade making companies that would run their test game market in the United States at these two different Golfland miniature golf locations. And in some cases, if the game would fail in their eyes at Golfland and not enough people would play it, that would be enough of a deciding factor to not release the game. And apparently this is what happened with Primal Rage 2 and Marble Madness 2, which is hard for me to believe that both of those games did so terribly at Golfland, but
Well, cuz you didn't know this growing up. You learned this recently.
yeah, I learned this recently. Yeah,
Okay.
so I had no idea when I was a kid. These two arcades in the California Bay Area used to be the coolest arcade just because it would have the most games, the most diversity of games. There would be the most people there. But I didn't realize until I grew up that it was an actual test arcade for these prototype games. So there were probably some prototypes that I even played when I was a kid that I can't even remember. And this was the game we're about to play today, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's not a prototype. It was released. It was released in the United States also, but at a very sort of low. I don't think there were very many units made in the United States.
Well, I think JoJo as like a property is something that's like still very niche over here. It's not like Dragon Ball Z. It didn't really break through to the
No.
mainstream.
Yeah.
We tried to watch it, didn't we?
Yeah, we watched a few episodes, and we were watching it from the very beginning, thinking it had any resemblance to the game. But the actual show is like way more serious and dramatic. But it seemed interesting and like very odd in a certain way. So maybe as the show goes on, it gets as crazy as this game does.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, what was that other one that we tried to watch the live action adaptation of that was like everybody loves it. It had some sort of steampunky sounding name. It's also some
Guilty
other.
Gear X.
No, it's like a property that's like popular.
Oh, I don't know.
It was that live action. It's some kind of vampire.
Vampire Savior?
It's no.
No, I don't know what you're talking
It was
about.
on Netflix and we watched like a couple of episodes of it.
Oh, Castlevania.
Was that it? No, I feel like it was. Was it Castlevania?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it
Lori
was
and I
just
don't watch very
unfollowable.
much. We don't watch very much anime. We
No.
appreciate it and respect it, but we don't consume very much of it.
Yeah, I like the premises and I like the aesthetics, and it's all sometimes way too hard to follow for me.
Hey Peter H, how's it going? Happy birthday! If I'm getting that correct, is it your birthday today, Peter?
Happy birthday!
Should we sing happy birthday to him?
No, absolutely not.
I told him I would yesterday.
You did?
Yeah. So
Oh boy.
we might have to sing happy birthday to Peter.
Can we do like the Simpsons version?
What's the Simpsons version?
That's the creepy Michael Jackson happy birthday.
I don't remember. I definitely didn't see that episode. Hey John, how's it going?
Hi, John.
Yeah, that Thailand mass shooting story is really crazy. It reminds me of the was his name Andrew Breivik, the guy who
Anders Breivik.
Anders Breivik. It has that level of spectacularness. I mean, apparently he blew up some giant gas tank
Crazy.
during his mass shooting. Anders Breivik, for people who don't remember, is one of the only times like a mass shooter has also let off like a giant bomb before they did a mass shooting, and it was like a very sophisticated explosive. Really, really crazy story. If you don't remember that.
Yeah, that was crazy. Well, and it's also just because of where it was. He's not getting the death penalty. He got life, or they don't even do life.
No, I don't even think he got life. No, he didn't. I don't know. Yeah, he got a very like light sentence compared to what somebody would get here.
Yeah.
Trish, hey, how's it going?
Hi, Trish.
Try to get closer to me.
Okay.
Can you?
I brought in a smaller chair, but I still feel like I'm squeezed into this frame. Yeah, well, I mean, the Thailand shooting's crazy. I briefly read a thing this morning, and I was just like, I'm sure more stuff will come out. But I watched the debates last night. I wanted to talk about that because when I got home, you'd watch some of them, and then you fell asleep, which I don't blame you for.
Well, I watched them with Jason Burmis.
Oh, that's right. You were already watching.
Yeah. And we ended up, I think we talked over a great deal of them, so I ended up missing probably at least 50% of what the candidates said. But at the same time, I don't really give much of a shit that I missed what they said, because from what I heard that all the candidates were saying, including Bernie, it was just, I just realized how much nonsensical, overgeneralized platitudes that the Democrats are putting out as their talking points. Like, and the specific things they bring up about Trump or what they're trying to fight against Trump doing are things that won't resonate at all with regular people. Like giving a standing ovation to Vindman.
Oh my God!
No regular Americans.
Biden
care.
is desperate, and he loves a big gesture.
But people actually responded to it in the audience. There, it's like,
well, yeah,
this
but
is
it's
such
like
a weird bubble.
When you watched the State of the Union, you watched Pelosi like leap to her feet because she finally had a chance to applaud something disgusting that we can all get behind, which is the Juan Guaido appearance. So that was pretty disgusting for me. So yesterday, though, I think you'd already kind of fallen asleep, but I think no, you hadn't. We were talking. I think my favorite cringeworthy moment, and I didn't even Google it, or I have no idea if it's trending on Twitter, but there was this point at which like suddenly people brought up race, and it was really interesting to me because Tom Steyer, who keeps trying to like involve other people to try to like, I don't know, like triangulate and like get some more attention during the debate. He kept it when he mentions Joe, and then that like cuts to Biden really quickly, and he's like touching his ear like, oh, why you gotta bring me up, dude. It was so good. But I loved when he was talking about like black and brown and A and PI people, and it just,
that was so weird.
Basically, like my brain cut to like a whiteboard where like whoever's coaching him on what the hell he should say and do, like he just repeated back the shorthand on the whiteboard instead of actually saying Asian and Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was just like, oh, like this guy is so like just off-putting. Like he's just like a wheezy old man, just like Biden, and he thinks he's so great.
And the fact that he keeps like every time he talks during the debates, you can see that all the other candidates are just cringing. Like, what the fuck are you still doing here, dude?
Yes.
I mean, it's so bizarre if you really think about it. This is the first election we've ever had where 3 billionaires are in the race. 3. Tom Steyer, Michael Bloomberg, and Donald Trump. I mean, that alone is really disturbing.
Yeah.
When you let that sink in, that we have reached the point in our democracy where 3 literal billionaires are running for president, and that's just seriously fucking fucked up. It's kind of insane.
Well, the closest,
and it was inevitable too.
Yeah.
We were going to reach this point eventually, but what does that mean for the next election? This is basically the Citizens United. Plus what we're seeing now, Bloomberg, 3 billionaires, this is the end of any semblance of democracy in this country.
Yeah. I mean, look at the people on the stage that seemed radical. Bernie Sanders is like a kind of a lefty, but like mostly a very establishment guy. I would not call him a radical, so it's just bizarre that he's just been like painted as that. And then Andrew Yang, I think you were asleep at the point where he basically compared himself to MLK.
No, I wasn't.
Towards
I
the
saw
end of
that.
it? Okay.
He said like MLK, we need to give everybody $1,000 universal basic income.
I think
and I was like, what?
It was awkward the way he said it because everything dovetails back to that campaign like platform. And honestly, oh, it is your birthday. Okay, well we should sing.
We're gonna sing, yeah. Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear
Peter H. Happy birthday to you. We'll turn on the auto tune next time.
Blow out your candles, Peter. Happy birthday.
So,
Sorry, that was so off key.
Yeah, sorry, that was not. We did not rehearse that clearly. But I mean, and like Pete Buttigieg and Andrew Yang being like the youngest people closest to being everymen is really bizarre to me. The idea that anybody would find Pete Buttigieg to be like so appealing when he basically says nothing, it is really quite bizarre. Like watching its entirety, like start to finish.
Yeah.
And then I think you had fallen asleep, but I kept watching while they were doing like the talking head commentary afterwards. Mm-hmm. And somebody mentioned WWE. It is as if they cut to it and then like a bunch of literal newscasters started talking about the WWE. Because all it was a discussion of like strategy and trajectory and like, well, Biden's on a downward trajectory and he didn't correct for that. So he's still on a downward trajectory. And they basically just put, here's what we think will happen in the New Hampshire primaries. And it's probably going to fall out just like that. Because at this point, like Warren and Biden are literally running out of money. And they're just being like propped up by the fact that, you know, people have told me, they're like, why won't you vote for Warren? Like she's the new, like last time, everybody was so mad if you said you weren't going to vote for Hillary. Mm-hmm. Like she's kind of the new Hillary for me.
Except there's no chance she's going to gain any momentum moving forward now, which is good. But one of the things I've noticed of Pete Buttigieg this time is he sounded more like an actual like think tank neocon in this debate than any other time I've heard him. When he actually responded about what would you do? Like, what do you think about Trump assassinating Soleimani? Which is weird that the debate moderators are the ones who brought that up. Like Bernie, someone else should have been like, Trump is dangerous. He's taking us to the brink of war. He assassinated an Iranian general, an act of war for no reason. But for some reason, the debate moderators brought up, and when they brought it up to Pete, he went on a rant about our obligations in the world and what we need to do and our values and stuff that sounded identical to like a Robert Kagan neocon framework about what America's role is. And it's really scary. I do think that he is probably a CIA plant. The fact that he's a Rhodes Scholar that then went to Afghanistan is so suspicious just by itself, even without any of the think tank or CIA stuff, that it's like, dude, that shit is so manufactured. Like, this guy is a total plant.
And he just seems so malleable, like an unassuming, telegenic, you know, not maybe a little bit grass-fed. Kind of reminds me of John Edwards, how he just came out of nowhere and was suddenly just very boosted. There was just a lot of hype about him for no reason.
Except he's scarier than John Edwards because he's better. He's more articulate, and he's got that more Obama flavor of rhetorical flair.
He does have a rhetorical flair, but it comes across as very vapid to me. A lot of the magic of being an actual good politician is taking a chance where you could say something of no substance and making whatever the bullshit you're saying sound substantive. And Obama was great at that. I don't think Buttigieg is quite that sophisticated. And he actually had a moment where he like lost track of himself as he was responding. And he got a little bit, like, you know, where you kind of get your thoughts go out of sync because you're on stage, and kind of revealed to me, like, you know, everybody was like piling on him as like the newcomer, that he really is still very, very green. Because like to not come up with substantive facts as like the only veteran on the stage when you're asked about the Soleimani thing, and to, you know, they ask these very gotcha questions in this very pointed way, like, would you have ordered the strike? Mm-hmm. It's like whoever next answered it had the better answer, and it was kind of like shocking to me that he didn't bring up the traumatic brain injuries or anything.
Yeah, I think even Bernie's answer,
that was it. Yeah,
or response on that was good, and there was some bad in it. Where I was like, Bernie's response was almost more along the lines of, "This is the way to do something like that properly." And I don't know if you guys have read the New York Times interviewed Bernie recently and interviewed all the other candidates as well. I think Warren and Biden on key foreign policy issues. And some of Bernie's answers are really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And so that's, I mean, and the fact that he hugs Joe Biden on the debate stage, it's like, dude, why would you do that? Like, that's going to lose you voters. That's not going to gain. It was just like, I mean, but then the fact that the debate moderator actually asked Bernie, what do you think about Hillary saying nobody likes you? Like,
yeah, I thought that was just such a softball. It was just, ugh.
I mean, but it wasn't just a softball. It was also just like, They wouldn't ask that of anybody else.
Well, it was babyish, and it was also kind of like pointed because they're trying to do anything they can to like knock him down a peg, and it just won't work. At this point, it's like a rebound effect. Like it actually makes people like him more. Kind of like what happened with, well, it's happened with many people, but it happened with Trump, where there was just like a groundswell of like, this guy's so unqualified that people are just like, we don't care. Like, you know, so it's like Bernie, like this guy's so old and so unlikable. It's like, we don't care. We have a very unlikable president. So it's not really it's not a good takedown.
No, it's not. I mean, but I think the unfortunate thing is Bernie is doing damage to himself by not going for the jugular. The hugging the Biden thing, he could be a lot more aggressive right now. And I think this is a bad sign of what's to come if he wins the nomination, which is in and of itself a long shot. If he wins the nomination, I am seriously concerned that he just doesn't have the gravitas or the aggressiveness to beat someone as crazy and unhinged as Trump.
No, it's like if you could put him in like some kind of superhero chamber and like return him Captain America style to some like level of vigor, but he's certainly lacking in vigor, and he seems like the most exhausted person up there, and that's going to be, I just can't. He's probably the only one that I can see like on stage with Trump, though. I see Buttigieg getting eaten alive and trying to take the high road and just getting fucking just like obliterated.
He'll get trounced even worse than Bernie would. But here's the thing I was thinking. Trump is smart enough, savvy enough. Like, look at what he did during the State of the Union, trying to act like, or actually for real, trying to gain black votes. That's a very strange thing that a Republican candidate running would actively do in the way that Trump did. I'm actually thinking that Trump will try to outflank Bernie's left rhetoric on things like even Amazon and Jeff Bezos. Trump has gone after Amazon and Jeff Bezos, probably a lot for the wrong reasons, but what would it cost Trump to be like, yeah, Amazon, pay your taxes. I'm going to make Amazon pay their taxes. So whatever Bernie's saying, it's like a wash. Doesn't matter because I'm going to make them do it. I mean, there's ways for Trump to even outmaneuver, that Bernie on these issues that are normally considered sort of populist left. So I'm intrigued, but also very concerned about what Trump's 2020 campaign is actually going to look like, depending on who he's running against.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see. What if Biden is super slipping, and he was by far like the most ridiculous, I think, and they cut to him the least during the debates. Mandatory prison. Mandatory rehab.
Oh my God, yeah.
He was less muckle-mouthed than the last times I've seen him on the internet saying crazy things about fleas and jumping, but he was still like, it was like watching Trump give not this past State of the Union, but like the last speeches where it's just like you're just waiting for him to like tip over the edge into like just complete mayhem. Like it just felt like he was already losing the plot like every time he responded. And he also did that sort of power aggressor move that like Trump does where he like chimed in when he wasn't supposed to and like gave tags on everybody else's stuff. And he's just like, I don't know, I didn't take debate in school, but I know that like this isn't like a scored debate where like they actually like write down points and tell everybody who made the most points. But Biden's points were terrible. He just kept saying, I did that. I was a part of that. He literally said like, I worked with the President of the United States, Barack Obama, like as if you actually have to like keep spelling it out. Like he just like, he like used up his own time by just blathering. It was really, it was shocking because these people have been like they're all exhausted from sitting in the impeachment trial if they had to do that, and then they came here to the stage. They're drilled like 20 hours a day on like exactly what to talk about, how to answer any possible form of any question. Buttigieg went into this knowing that he needed to kind of redeem himself and make himself not look like some like milquetoast white guy who doesn't care about black people, and he totally like ate it on the question about the black arrests.
Well, what's really funny, too, is that it came out after the debate this morning that Pete Buttigieg, before he tried to run, was actually actively defending the South Bend police officers for printing their own hoodies that said, guess what, on them after Eric Garner's death.
Not Blue Lives Matter?
No.
Or not I can't breathe?
No, it said, breathe easy, don't break the law. The South Bend Police Department wore these hoodies, printed them up in response to Eric Garner being choked out and killed by a cop for trying to sell a cigarette, a Lucy. And Pete Buttigieg actually, on record, defended the police for printing those shirts and wearing them while he was mayor. I mean, if that's not an indication of how fucking fucked up this guy is, I don't know what is. I mean, obviously, other than his CIA connections.
I don't know. Well, I know that's debatable, and people.
It's not really. I mean, it's not really debatable.
Honestly, though,
CIA
I didn't know.
up.
I didn't know that about him, and like as much as a part of me, it's just like anybody falls prey to like the same identity politics. It's like Hillary Clinton's a monster, but I was like, oh man, we should have had a woman president already, so I could see why people would get into her.
Yeah.
Just based on like, demographics alone. And like Buttigieg, it's like, yeah, like I want a gay fucking president, but I don't want him to be like a spook pig fucker. I'm sorry. Like that's like the floor. Like I need it better than that.
Yeah. Well, someone is bringing up in here, two people brought up in here, Ned and Patrick. Patrick asked, did you see Pete's plan for mandatory military service for high school graduates? I did not see that, but it doesn't surprise me at all. And what's actually kind of creepy is a previous presidential candidate who people suspected might also be a CIA plant, Barack Obama, also proposed a similar thing of compulsory service.
But when he did it, he was probably pandering to the right.
I don't even think he was. I think he had already won the presidency at that point.
Do you know how many people like joined ROTC though in high school just to have like an elective or get like credits for it with no intention of actually continuing on to the military?
Well, we did grow up in Pleasanton, so
yeah,
that's not the best.
We had the military band come into my band room in freshman year, and for a moment there, for a few hours, I was like, that might be a good thing to do.
Patrick Blair says this is from Pete Buttigieg's website. Quote, our intention is for this proposal to create a pathway towards a universal national expectation of service for all 4 million high school graduates every year. A new generation of American youth bound by mutual service and sacrifice, aware of holy shit, dude. This is like
it seems more
he
like
wants to turn America into the IDF. That's even worse than what Obama.
Does he actually mean serving in a military capacity or serving like AmeriCorps style serving? Because there are programs for people. They sound great on paper when politicians talk about them, but they're basically like, I don't want to call them indentured servitude, but you basically get paid poverty wages or stipends, and it's like the Peace Corps. Like when you go to the Peace Corps, it's like you live in a usually a shithole country, as they call them nowadays in the White House, and you do a bunch of things, and you make literally like no money, but it's voluntary. You do it for like the spirit of volunteerism or because it aligns with like your career goals. So for everybody to be forced into some sort of level of service, like, we can't possibly have like a bunch of 18-year-olds joining like the military for a couple years. This is not Israel. Even Israel has a lot of dispensations. Like you can get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird though how many countries sort of adopted an Israeli model. I mean, I didn't even mention the UK one of these times I was doing this broadcast, but the United States and the UK largely adopted the Israeli model for the war on terror. And to a certain extent, so did Russia. I mean, it is disturbing to think that there are politicians like Pete Buttigieg trying to get us closer to the Israeli model, than we already are.
Honestly, one of the most disturbing things, or one of the weirdest things that I knew to expect when I went to Tel Aviv and Jerusalem was just the constant presence of IDF. They are. It's just like they're like co-eds everywhere, carrying like giant weapons, wearing thick sweaters, you always standing in groups of like 20 or 40 or more, and they're just everywhere. When I went to the Western Wall, like there was about 80 of them on some sort of cultural field trip, because in addition to signing up for service and going through basic training and serving, you're also given this like cultural indoctrination. It's like a big part of it. Mm-hmm. So if it really is like ROTC style, like 2 years of actually serving in the military, that is terrifying, because Israel is like probably the scariest place I've ever been. To be honest, the most disturbing place ever. I went for a work trip, so I tried not to buy anything.
Yeah, should we should play some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure now?
Yeah.
Has anybody here seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the anime? Has anybody played JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the game?
Can anyone explain the premise?
Yeah. I mean, just gameplay-wise, the premise is very interesting, and compared to other Capcom fighting games, it's pretty abstract. You have a button on this game where you release or you manifest your stand. which appears to be some kind of avatar or spirit version of yourself. People who watch the anime or who know the story could correct me on that. I have no idea I don't know what a lot of these things in this game are based on. There's a character named Vanilla Ice. There's a character named Chaka Khan.
Shaka Khan is a character in this game?
Yeah, and it's weird because it's all in Japanese, so we can't actually see the names of the characters. And there are some strange other characters, like a teeny tiny little dog that you can fight as well. So,
Barbara, did you hear that?
let's do this. Tell me how the volume level is on this. If it's too loud for you guys, you have to let me know.
Yeah, so when I went to Israel, though, people are saying, are there pyramids in it? No, there's pyramids in Egypt, and I think probably other places. A lot of people actually did go to Petra in Jordan, like the Temple of Doom place, but I hear it's pretty wrecked. Like, there's not a lot of other, like, easy places to go, too. Like, I would have liked to have gone to Bethlehem, but that was tricky to get to, so I didn't bother.
Okay, so really quick. Your stand is this button. You release it.
Ooh.
Turn it off, okay?
Okay.
And when you do that, you have different special moves.
Okay.
And you only have 3 attack buttons.
Okay.
You can juggle these?
Yep. Oh no!
What the hell
What was that?
I don't know.
I'm a tiny little ball now. Did I win? Hey. Oh. I don't know.
Oh, shit, look at that move. I can just shoot you. It's like Striker on Mortal Kombat. We're totally shaking the leg.
Whoops.
I don't know how to. Yeah, I gotta get a new setup for this.
Oh man. This is. Wait, you have a gun?
I do. Yeah.
Where did you get a gun?
And if I hit my stand, I will avatar you. I get hurt too.
Yeah. Oh, what is that move? I don't like that move. I like how yours is like a shadow, though.
I know. It's like a we're like radiant shadow.
Oh, man. That was close. Give me that. How do you do that thing where it's like in the background? It's like Street Fighter style. That thing where
Whoa.
you... What? How did I do that? Oh. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, people can't hear you. You gotta move your thing closer.
Oh, you can only hear
Robbie was just saying, please have mercy.
How is this?
Kick Robbie's poser ass. Robbie's like the ultimate legit video game guy.
I got some trolls.
That just means you're popular.
Here.
Okay. I don't like that. That big guy had a good... Oh. I won. That's fine.
Yeah, we have.
That's fine. No, this works for me. You're the tiny dog now? Oh, man. I feel bad beating up this little tiny dog.
My hitbox. I wonder if my hitbox has anything to do with that. It's probably just me.
Sorry, that was pretty cheap. I'll switch after this. Oh.
Damn it.
I'm gonna do that thing with all the holes in it, like I did that
Oh
last
yeah, where
time.
you like threw me down the hole?
Yeah.
Or that you came up and down on the hole? Is that your stand? What is it? Oh shit. That's so good.
You crashed it. I don't know how you do that. What? Did you just bite my
I have
face?
no idea what's going on. I like the juggling system in this though. It seems like I can kind of juggle you up
Damn.
there.
He does look like Gizmo, John. You're right. That's why he's so cute.
Can you guys hear me still? How's the audio levels now?
Jeez.
It's just so funny that they have a sprite, a character that's this small of a sprite. It kind of reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom. How you can play as Mega Man, and he's so much smaller than the rest of the characters, but somehow his like hitbox is the same. I don't really understand how Capcom like programs it.
Damn it.
It's weird.
You're gonna win. Damn it.
I'm gonna button mash my way. No!
Yes.
No! You fucked me up.
That was great. Oh my god. What else
Okay.
were we gonna talk about?
John says he still can't hear me.
Oh no. Somebody says they could hear you.
I'm gonna turn the game
The
down a little
rectal
bit.
something.
Oh, here, you still have to play as him. So you want to play as someone else?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna start over.
Heritage for Future.
So there are actually
Sequel
two
movie.
versions of this game. There's JoJo's Venture, I think, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I might be wrong on the title differences, but one of these games added like, I think like 4 or 5 new characters to the game from what it originally had. So we're playing like the updated version. It's kind of like Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 to Mortal Kombat 3. Yeah, I don't remember this character
Oh, she looks
on the
cute.
version I played.
The little Red Riding Hood. Very nice. I got a lot going on. I brought like a whole fridge or something.
I like the art style. It kind of reminds me of it doesn't look like other Capcom games really. What do you guys think of this game? I mean, just visually.
I mean, it looks neat to me.
Who's making a DC versus Marvel, John? Is it Capcom or is it NetherRealm Studios, the same people that made what's it called? Injustice. If it's the same people that made Injustice, I'd be interested in that. Because I thought Injustice was pretty good. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh, you destroyed me.
Jeez.
I crushed you with a car. I like that. Oh wow.
Wow.
I countered your
Damn.
super.
That I don't even know how we did that.
Can you guys hear me now when the game is playing? Oh, I have to do this asshole.
Oh,
Pick
really?
someone new.
Ooh, Robot Hawk.
What the fuck? Wait, the actual characters?
Robot Falcon or something.
Wait a second.
Just made a robot
No
sound.
way, this is great. Wait, so you're just a flying little hawk?
Yeah.
This is amazing. Wait, do your stand. I want to see what your stand looks like.
I don't have one.
You don't have a stand? That's weird. Do I have one? I don't have one either, really.
Cool.
I can like
we're
bring.
well
Oh no, I
matched.
kind of do. Wait, it leaves a little electricity thing. Like it leaves a trap behind where I guess if you hit it, you get hurt. It's like the ice clone. Sub-Zero's ice clone. Oh yeah, weird. So if I manifest my stand, yours has the same kind of ability. It looks like. My stand is just a little electrical socket that hurts you, that I leave in the air. All the ways you attack are by growing little, like, crystals that appear.
No! Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just
really-
like a crystal
really cool.
falcon.
I don't think I played this version of the game then in the arcade. I think I must have played the original Jojo's.
What was
good.
that?
I don't know. Fucked me out. It looked like Metal Slug. There are a lot of anime-themed games with anime art styles, but this, like, even made by Capcom and SNK, but this game has a unique feel to it to me that doesn't really feel like those other games. You know? Like, even though it's based off of an anime, what did you say the art style in this is, like, kind of unique? It's sort of different, right?
Yeah.
Like, even compared to Darkstalkers,
It's cute.
which looks almost more like an anime game than this one. I don't know. Shit.
I love this character. Seems very like overpowered.
Not so fast. Oh no.
Yeah? You're gonna come back from this?
I am. Absolutely. You son of a bitch. Now
Really?
you figured
Come
out.
and get me.
Now you figured out what to do.
Yeah.
Oh no. Fuck. Oh, my super doesn't do a goddamn thing. We got this one. Obviously.
Oh
Whoa,
man,
popped
what?
something out of my chest. Maybe I can make a comeback here.
What?
No.
Yeah, maybe. What the hell's going on in the chat? We can't read it. I think I'm sitting too close to the screen.
I guess we got people off the political track
Oh,
for now. 'Cause we played
people are
Jojo
asking
Bizarre
when we
Adventure
fell
too
in
much.
love. It was after high school, just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we've been going for, let's see, how long have we been going? Almost 40 minutes. What do you think? Should we switch to a different game?
Yeah, let's play one more game.
What do you think about
what was
Ninja
that?
Spirit?
What is that?
Did you see the game I played yesterday? For that short episode?
Absolutely not.
You
I
didn't?
didn't. I wanted to watch, but I didn't.
Okay. Spam call.
Yeah, great.
Give me a spam call.
And I wanted to look up. There was something like Vampire Stalker.
Oh, you
or,
wanna
like,
play that one
Blood
too?
Stalker. It's the one that's like really
Darkstalkers.
cartoonish.
Yeah. Yeah, Lori hadn't played the Darkstalkers series before, and we were randomly one night just going through all the Capcom fighters, and this one really stood out to you.
It's that. I mean, as much fun as that one is, this one's aesthetics are like just.
Yeah,
So
and it's
good looking.
more traditional Street Fighter too than Jojo's Bizarre Adventure.
It's
like,
also like you don't know what the hell's going on because everything's so fast and it's.
in Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, or
No, this one.
oh, okay, so you prefer that, where you don't know what the hell's going
No,
on.
it's fun. I don't know
Okay.
how long we'll want to play it.
All right. So I can't remember which one actually came out.
Ooh, I think
I think it's the third one, right?
it was one of these. Vampire Savior, is that what it was?
Vampire Hunter 2. I can't remember which
Oh,
one
these
is the
all look
newest one.
similar, but one of them I really liked how crazy it kind of got.
Does anyone know in the
Ooh,
chat right now?
Darkstalkers, go up one.
Darkstalkers Revenge.
Was that one good? That one looks kind of good.
I'm just trying to remember which one is the newest one with all the characters in it. Why don't you look it up really quick? No one's helping
Are
me
these
out.
even the same franchise? Vampire Hunter and Vampire Savior?
Jod, you might be the only one in the chat. It's a Saturday evening. Probably not the best time to do an episode of Main Politics. Check, check.
So it's all out of the series of Darkstalkers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So see if you could see what the video games are in order. Like the arcade games.
Vampire Hunter 2, Darkstalkers Revenge, Vampire Savior 2, Lord of the Vampire, both 97, Vampire Savior X Edition, 98, Vampire Chronicles for matching service.
So it looks like that's the last one on here is the third one. So what is it? No, Vampire Savior 2, Lord of the Vampire.
Okay. Vampire Savior, the Lord of Vampire.
This is
that
I guess so. This
enough.
is apparently the newest version of Darkstalkers we have on here. Let's give it a play.
Okay. I'm not sure if this was it. But...
I love the music on here. Hey Tom, how's it going? This can't be the newest version of Darkstalkers.
I don't remember this. Oh no, B-Girl. I remember B-Girl.
Oh, B-Girl's great. Yeah.
Oh man, I actually.
You want to restart? Let's do it again. Let's go again.
This might be the only time we play.
That's fine. I did want to play Ninja Spirit with you because I didn't get a chance to play it very long last night, and it is a 2-player game. Maybe if we feel like playing another game, we can do that.
Okay.
So let's do this. Look at this weird gold guy.
Oh, I like this lion.
Big girl.
Yeah. Where is she?
She's the top guy.
Oh, you don't have turbo?
I guess not.
Oh well. Oh, I come out of a little thing of honey.
Oh, there's blood. Wow.
Oh.
She doesn't kick my ass.
Well.
Wait, what is that? What just happened? Is
I
that
don't
the
know.
Super?
Oh.
How come we got our life points
Oh.
refilled? Wait, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh shit.
It just restarts like instantly.
Because I just got. I guess I just lost that now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stop.
Yeah. It's like continuous.
Whoa.
What the hell is that?
34 hit monster. Fuck.
Damn. Sorry. Couldn't help it. Oh, that looks cute when I win. I guess I just like how arrow grow this one is.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like a gross nature theme.
You want to play one more? I wonder if you can change your character now.
No. But I don't mind. My character's good. Pick one. There's a few other cute ones. Oh, that Lilith looks good. Lilith looks kind of good.
Why does she look so innocent?
I don't know. I hope she turns into like a hideous wolf.
Yeah, there's something about this character. Now there's really nothing too interesting about her. I just seem like a little... Oh, God. I don't even manifested a special move yet out of her. She has a gun. Okay. She kicks a landmine.
What was that? You set me on fire. Kind of cool. No. Oh, that was tough.
That was tough.
Wait, congrats on finding the Nazi symbol during the rush scene. Oh yeah, that was pretty crazy, wasn't it? I mean, it's just okay. Okay, I think I'm done with this game. My eyes are watering, so we should wrap it up soon. Doing this at night, it's just so bright in here. Yeah, that was really insane because when you think about it, that is the material on the seats in the gallery since whenever that material was put on there. And I know that like the actual Nazi version is like tilted or whatever, but it's just like of all the fucking patterns to put on your chairs, you pick that one? Why in the hell would you do that? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah,
it was bizarre to me.
How long those patterns have been in there. Like why
that's immediately what I thought of. I was just like, what the hell is going on?
Conspiracy theorists who think that the Fourth Reich having right now, and it's been existed since after the collapse of the Nazi.
Yeah, do you think W put it in?
I mean, no, I'm saying like, what if like it's
Cheney
like
ordered it?
Secret Nazi, like Hydra style, like they've been in control of the U.S. government. I mean, I'm just surprised that they would have never changed it to something else like after World War II or however the hell old it is. It's just strange.
Honestly, it is really weird, and it was just I can't be the only person to think of or to notice it, but I'm also not like a QAnon deep state, 8chan conspiracy theory person. So like it doesn't specifically mean anything to me except for like, what the fuck? Like, who let this happen? Like, how did this happen?
It's just super, super weird. I mean, call it a glitch in the Matrix, call it whatever you want. It was a very, very surreal moment. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing more to say really. Oh, and getting Rush. Okay, we didn't even talk about State of the Union, but
Yeah.
you were like in and out of the room while it was happening, and I was just like staring agog as they cut to Melania, and she just looks so bizarre. I was just like, oh, you're just gonna hold tight on Melania, and I was like so focused on like the intensity of her face, like I got confused about like the fact that they went back and forth, and she like stood up when he like told her to sit up, to stand up, and then her like frozen expression, like she's just waiting for the moment where she nods meaningfully. It's just like so wooden and odd to me. And then the Rush thing as it was happening was just surreal.
Yeah.
Like for this to be happening, and then you suddenly realize that he's going to do it in real time, like right here and right now, and Melania just had it in her pocket the whole time or something. It was just insane to me. Everything about it was horrifying. The Juan Guaido thing, everything.
John, can you hear me better now?
His self-satisfaction.
Yeah, that moment when Juan Guaido got up and everybody cheered and then Nancy Pelosi brought him in to do a speech like the next day.
And you knew something was up during the speech from the way she was constantly moving her mouth and chatting to
John
Pence.
Says he can't hear me at all anymore.
Oh no.
John, what about now? Hello? Can you hear me? It seems like somebody just heard me. Barely, John says.
That setup's not working for you.
Weird. Maybe we should just share the mic for the rest of the episode. Here, we'll just let's put it like this.
Okay.
How's that?
Well, we're gonna sign off soon. Do some troubleshooting for next time.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about the audio issues, guys. But yeah, it sounds like someone says I probably have a bad cable. But I'm a stickler for audio stuff, so I don't want to continue streaming if we're having audio issues. So we're probably going to sign off now. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching today. This is the 27th episode of MAME Politics. We're going to try to do it again tomorrow, and hopefully you'll be around to do it with me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll do this again tomorrow with Lori and I. We'll have to pick some good 2-player games for you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye. Happy birthday, Peter, if you're still there.
Happy birthday, dude. Take care.